Okay, we're back, and when I'm not warmed up, I always have my tuner clipped onto the peg so that as my fingers are warming up, they're also getting more precise to playing in tune. My ear is more active when I'm playing a complicated piece of music or playing along with someone. I do have a harder time on the violin, specifically just playing in tune if I'm playing one long single note. I can hear if it's in tune to the violin, but that's not quite the same thing, so I like to have the tuner clipped on just so it's facing me and I can see. So this first bowing exercise is specifically to get the sweetest sounding note you can with one long pull. And you want to pull it, you can pick 8 counts. And it's really hard to keep a steady, sweet sound for 8 counts, but it's a really nice exercise no matter how wonderfully or crappy you do it initially. Eventually you will get better because it's a very thoughtful practice. So I'm going to do the note that I always play the worst on my violin, which is a B. So coming up, you set it on the string nicely. My dog's gonna bark on the video for you. Sometimes you might want to use a metronome. Sunny, no bark. Hush, hush. Sorry about the growling. Okay. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So initially I would say there's nothing sweet about that. You just keep doing it until you get it sweet. You might have heard right in the middle I had a little bounce. My forearm's already getting a little fatigued from all the warm-ups and everything, so I haven't done those in a really long time, but I think it's going to be great, so keep doing them. Deep breath in, let your bow set on the string. Started to make a pretty nice sound at the end there. It was clearer, less bouncy. So let's do a note that actually sounds nicer for the next bowing exercise. Let's do D to D, that way it'll sound pretty good. So first we're going to find our note. Oh, and I think it's really important when you're practicing bowing to never do vibrato. It does 2 things. It reminds you to have a soft hand, because vibrato makes us have a softer hand. And so being able to have a soft hand when you're just holding a finger down firmly on the fingerboard is really good practice for building muscles in the way that it takes to play these instruments. So I never do vibrato because you can also check your intonation and see how your tone really sounds without getting to hide inside the wobble. But anyways, this is going to be a string changing bowing exercise. We're just going to go from the D. Well, oh, sorry, for you it'll be different notes. For you it'll be G to G. Okay. Which is just 3rd finger on your 2nd string, basically. So wait for me to progress, because I noticed that if I did that back and forth 3 times, that it would start getting scratchy and bumpy. So my goal for this session would be to do it 3 times. So let's try that and see how it goes. Start as close to the frog as you can without any slippage. And you're trying to make, if you're going to do 3, you're trying to make those 3 fit proportionally on your bow within the range that you can play. No matter how much I rosin, I can only play to about here and about here on this bow. It's a really old bow, so there's a lot of grease here, and it's just, the rosin just doesn't get past here for me. So let's do it again. I'm going to try to do it 4 times. That one was a lot harder going that slow down by the frog. I found I had to bring my bow off the string a little bit, which made a scratchy sound. Okay, so that's one. One thing that people have a really hard time with on the violin for precision and speed is a lot of separate notes. You don't seem to have trouble with that because you're very rhythmic, just inherently, and that's awesome, but I still think it's good to practice because there's always room for improvement. Okay, so I'm going to do this as an up bow because sometimes it can be hard to grab that string with an upward bow. That takes practice. So it's more in the thumb here. I feel it here, and I feel it here at my thumb where it's like a pinching sort of. It's like a jerking upward motion accompanied by pinching with the thumb and these forearm muscles. So let's do 3 repetitions of the D to D. For you it would be G to G, sorry. Okay, so I don't remember the names exactly, but I think that's like a staccato where it has a bite at the beginning. So that's a really good thing to practice for when you want to play it faster and clearly with lots of separate notes. So I'm going to change notes so that we can do something, it's like a variation of what we're doing now. So we're going to double that with 3 notes. So you're going to do that, like do it 3 times. And some people do find, you notice I automatically did this, that it's easier to put emphasis on the first of the 3 because it helps you find it. Sometimes the music doesn't call for that. Sometimes you have to play it exactly evenly, so I'm going to try my best to do that now. And the thing that I struggled with in that was keeping the bite at the beginning of each note. So again, slow it down until you can do it the best that you can. You might have noticed that when I got to that slowed down version, I didn't use as much bow. As you get better and better, using more bow with just as much control is a really good goal to have when it's appropriate for the sound that you're trying to make. So, let's see if I'm able to do that. So typically, when I'm playing long notes, you might have noticed that as I'm near the frog, the bow hairs are pointed more toward the bridge. For you, that's going to be an outward shape because your bridge is below your head, below your body, I mean. I'm not sure exactly how to say that, but I think you know what I mean. When you're playing cello, your bridge is down there. You're playing violin, your bridge is up here. So it's different shape. But my frog hair is pointing towards my bridge versus flat on the string, right? As I go up the bow, it flattens because I get more hair on the string and I get a bigger sound, so that bigger sound will match the bigger sound from down here, like this. They're automatically, with the weight of the frog, you're going to have a heavier sound. So you're going to do it with things that are choppier and stronger. With the lightness of the tip, you're going to have a lighter sound, so you do the more airy, flighty sounds up there. But yeah, back to keeping the hair turned toward the bridge when you want like a louder, stronger sound, because you can get a lot closer to the bridge without screeching. It's about a finer point connecting with that resonating string and hiding inside those spaces where the string is vibrating, and staying connected to it. That's that feeling. That good feeling when you're really in the pocket of the music. Okay, so we did some staccato, some long bows, some changing strings. I think chords would be a good place to end with this video. So the key with chords is making sure each note rings out if that's your intent with the music. So let's find all our notes first. So I'm just doing open, open, first finger, second finger. It'll be different notes for you than it is for me, but it's a B and a G are my fingered notes here on the top two strings. Oops, I vibrated. We're not doing that right now. Okay, so I'm going to just keep speeding up the chord until it actually sounds like a full chord being played, trying to play each note clearly throughout the process. Try not to vibrate, it's so automatic with chords. Okay, so you can see my pinky engaging. I'm lining up my bow well so that I can get a nice clear tone moving in that space between the bridge and the end of the fingerboard here. And I think with chords, it's okay to crunch when you're first learning because it's better to learn how to play them clearly and loudly all the way through and bring back the severity of pressure versus starting too softly, like, I don't know, it's just there's always something missing when they're soft unless they're intentionally soft. So let's do it loud the first few times. And if you're crunching too much, just speed up your arm. Let gravity help you. Take your elbow down. And it's hard to see on the computer, but you can see that my hand falls kind of after my elbow. And it's okay to come off with a flourish at the top because you really want to keep the pressure going throughout the tip, and that's going to get some momentum and you're going to have to pull off while that momentum's still going. And that's okay, it's not silly, it's kind of nice. For me anyways, I like it. Okay, let's try to do this chord really softly. The first thing you're going to want to know is that you're probably going to want to play closer to over the fingerboard just a little bit. You can play more softly there and keep it sweet. So it's going to take a few tries to get it to sound nice. So I was doing some screeching. I found that I needed to flatten my bow hair more than when I was playing up by the bridge here and really tilting it. I found that down here. I need to flatten it more. My G is getting a little sharp, so I'm going to just tip my hand back. There, now it's getting softer and sweeter. Okay, I think that's good for one video. Oh, you know, we didn't practice any real up bows. Let's see. I think triplets at the tip are a good thing to practice, so we'll do that to finish off. Let's see. Okay. So you just keep speeding up with triplets and try to stay in the rhythm as much as possible. You can bring in a metronome if it helps, but I would recommend just having the metronome be on the whole beat, as in 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to do it a little bit faster now that you know what I'm doing, and you can play along if you want, or just use this as a reference. So a thing to do, it's so hard because I can't get the computer. I'm going to get my face out of the frame so you can see what my hand is doing. Okay. Watch my wrist if you can. I'm like hoping that the computer will get it. There's a thing happening with my wrist being loose and my triceps at the back of my arm. I can feel them really working during these triplets. So I started floundering, so I stopped. It is good to end on a good note, so if you start floundering, maybe slow down and go back to playing that successfully and stop there is my best advice as a teacher. But I guess, uh-oh, my computer's going to sleep. Okay. I guess the final thing I want to say is with any movement, as you kind of get faster and better, see, no matter where my bow goes, my fingertips are ready to catch it, but my hand is really soft and really loose. And then do this. This is a really good warm down of like, okay, I'm now in touch with my bow. It's going only where I want it to go, even though I'm moving it pretty fast. You never need to go like this with the bow. That's the thing. That's what this finger's job pretty much is. Make sure you're never gripping in here too much. If this is getting sore, actually this is a good place to end. This is better. Practice the child hold. Let me set my violin down. Alright, so if you're getting problems with aching in here, first of all, roll it out with a golf ball from the base of your hand, out like a ray of sunshine, slowly rolling the ball as it stretches out the palmar tissue of your hand, okay? So that's if it happens. To prevent it, you want this to stay really open. Okay, this is a very open space. It doesn't close. When people close it up, they get a lot of hand pain in here unless they just started building those muscles as a kid when they were super flexible and their body adapted. Most people get a lot of pain when they play with a closed hand. You want a nice open hand. We teach children it's like it's like a bite, like an alligator bite. And so we actually have them put this part, it's like the side top of the thumb, to the bow. And that is good to practice until you have this grip. So you can do any of these bow exercises with the child's grip if it helps you keep an open thumb, and it really prevents pinching and gripping in this circle. That's what you see, you want that C shape. Because all of this openness isn't just about classical precision. It was actually cultivated to support longevity of play and support like postural functionality. It's about openness and fluidity and being able to use your muscles as well and healthily as possible for as long as possible. So yeah, feel free to use this child's grip. I do like it a lot. Sometimes I do it with the cello because I don't have the muscles yet to grip that bow really tight and make those strings sing out. So just remember, anytime you see me turning my bow towards my bridge, you're gonna hold your posture kind of the opposite and turn towards your bridge. Don't get a deep crease here though. Keep your wrist as straight as you can without clenching it ever. Just let this stuff get strong. Remember, these muscles run from the forearm into the bottom of the hand, and that means that if they're at their most open position, then they're as functional as they can possibly be, and that's good. So we'll finish there. Let me know if these videos are helpful. I know I'm a mumbler, I do apologize, and I have almost no experience making videos, so hopefully these are helpful. Bye!